Just a second, hold on. Yeah. Yeah, I've already started. I can see as high. Are you what with what ID have you joined in? Yeah, Mohammed Al-Arabi, right? Mohammed Al-Arabi, right? Okay, so I am promoting you to panelist now. Okay, so you are the panelist, and I think I will disconnect. I'll disconnect the Skype, so that way you will be online. Okay, shall I disconnect Skype?
Okay, I hear you now.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the live webinar series being conducted by Step Learning Management System. Today we are going to conduct an international webinar on project governance from initiation to closing. So the speaker of the day has already arrived. So we'll wait for a few more minutes before the others join, and then inshallah we can begin our webinar. I hope you're able to see the screen and able to hear me. If you're able to hear me, if you can just mention in the chat box that you're able to hear, that'll be great. I request the participants to please let me know if I'm audible in the chat box. Yeah, okay, thank you. So we'll wait for another maybe 2 minutes before we begin. Thank you. Yeah, hello everyone. So yeah, let's begin the webinar without wasting much of our time. So this webinar is being powered by Step Learning Management System, and my name is Saeed, and I work as the director at the Step Learning Management System. And so today's webinar is an extension of what we have been doing so far as part of our learning management system webinars. So this one is basically about project governance from initiation to closing. So we have tied up with Nexus Academy, US and Egypt branch, and then we have an excellent speaker between us who is going to talk about a very much needed topic in today's times about project governance. Before I, in fact, talk about the speaker and invite him on the panel, I would like to, recommend that you pay attention to the details of the topic. And this webinar is going to be for an hour and a half. So 1 hour would be the speaker slot, and the speaker might talk, a little bit more about, the topic, because there is a detailed conversation that, the speaker is going to have. And then 15 minutes or probably around 15 to 20 minutes we will have Q&A session. So if you have any topics, please feel free to raise in the Q&A session. or in between, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and then I'll allow you to talk in between. And I would leave on to the speaker, okay, if he would like to have an interactive session, or he would like to take the questions at the end. So the speaker of the day is none other than Mr. Mohammed Al-Arabi, who is a management consultant at Nexus Academy USA. He is the co-founder and managing partner as well. There is a lot for me to talk about the speaker, but I would fail in my duty if I just highlight it. So I'll try to keep as detailed as possible. So basically, he has got loads of experience in the management field. He had developed methodologies and frameworks in business, project, and the HR fields. He has been an author in the marketing and management, project management topics in various, and he has co-authored. He has written a lot of books, Arabic books as well. He has been a speaker at different conferences, forums, seminars, and webinars as well. And then he has also provided consultation services for the establishment and assessment at various levels of the project management tool. And Mr. Mohammed Al-Arabi is also, he offers a lot of trainings in strategic planning, balanced scorecard, governance, portfolio management, initiative management, PMP, Prince 2, and then Six Sigma, setting and measuring KPIs, business process management, ITIL, and the list is endless. So trust me, Mr. Mohammed Al-Arabi comes with loads of experience, and I personally always like to interact with him because he is, whenever I interact with him, I always get that feel that I'm talking to a project management expert. So without wasting much of your time, I would like to invite the speaker of the day, Mr. Mohammed Al-Arabi. So I would be coming in at the end of the session again, and I would walk you through a workshop detail and also the learning management system, wherein you can just go through the system and then you can find out more about this particular topic and how do you get advantage out of it. So yeah, the stage is all yours, Mr. Mohammed Al-Arabi.
Thank you, Syed, for this introduction, and thank you for Bench Step for having me today to deliver this presentation. Our agenda today in this topic, project governance. So we'll start with introduction to project governance, and then we will go with the life cycle by starting with starting the project, preparing and organizing, carrying out the work, ending the project. And I think most of you are familiar with these generic phases. So starting with introduction to project governance, to be able to apply the concept of project governance, okay, so we should refer to the governance at the corporate level. And by having or by knowing this, by knowing the corporate governance, so we could apply whatever the values, the concepts there to be applied at the level of project management then. So in corporate governance framework, there are 4 core values. First one is fairness, and this is at the level of shareholder to protect their rights. The second one about transparency, and here that we wanted to disclose the material matters information, even the financial part to the others. The third one is responsibilities, and responsibility here to encourage active cooperation between the corporations itself and the stakeholders. And the fourth and last one, but not the least, is the accountability, is the effective monitoring for of management by the board. Okay, and sometimes people say that the last 2 core values are causes for the other two, I mean fairness and transparency. So what I want to say that that responsibility and accountability are the causes for the effect, I mean for fairness and transparency. And here, once we talk about the governance in project management, okay, so we should have in our mind the four core values here across, okay? And what we have here, we have, as we mentioned, that we need to interpret the corporate governance to the area of project management. So starting from here, I mean corporate governance, so we need to define the business goal, develop policies, objectives, and ethical principles, and then we will be able to make governance of projects. So it is not project governance because it is coming, it is the governance of all the projects we have into the organization. And here we talk about here, this is the select the right projects. Selecting the right projects here, it means that we talk about the portfolio management. And in order to have effective monitoring, so we need to have synchronized measures, methods, and reporting as well. And the third layer here is called the project governance. And here we mention here define goals, and definitely here the goals here at the project level, not the organization level. Provide resources, control progress at project level. And here we should have a project management methodology by providing a number of project processes, okay? And they sometimes call these processes the product-oriented processes, and we are coming to that. First layer, corporate governance. And here in corporate governance, for any big or even medium organization, they should have definitely shareholders, and those shareholders, they own the company's assets, and they appoint a board of directors, and they sometimes call it supervisory board, and they are the guardians of the company's assets on behalf of the shareholders. And then this board appoints the manager, especially the executive body, I mean the chief executive officer, okay? And this executive who is going to use the company's asset in order to play the execution role in the organization. As we see from here, that from the upper level to the lower level, this is some sort of direction, and the CEO in this case should report back for whatever status he has during the execution to be reported to the directors, and the directors should report this to the shareholders. So it means, as a typical organizational structure, that we have the shareholders, then we have board of directors, and they appoint the chief executive officer. And the chief executive officer, in order to be able to execute the work required, I mean to achieve the strategic objective, so he has to appoint the manager. Okay. And these managers, typically one responsible for service or product development, someone to market and sale, or even customer service, And the third one, responsible for financial and administration. To have this structure, so we have at the higher level, I mean the shareholder and the board of directors, they are responsible for governance. They are responsible for directing, not managing. That's why we need to separate the meaning of governance from the meaning of management. So the governance here is an oversight role to answer the question, what's the plan? What are the policies? What are the procedures? So we answer the question, what here? And the management role here is responsible for delivery role. Delivery at the level of project, the delivery at the level of operation. And regardless of the structure and the levels of the structure, now as appeared here in this triangle, that when you go down, it means that the governance will be less. And from here, when you go up, it means that the governance, with the management, the delivery role will be high and going up, so the delivery role will be less. It means that at the middle level, I mean the CEO level, so his role is mixing between the directive and the management as well. And as we mentioned that the organizational governance, I mean answer the question, what to control, to direct, to coordinate, okay, by having people, policies, process in order to meet the organizational strategies and objectives. And the other part, I mean the organizational management, to answer the question how to make some sort of coordination, definitely to achieve the strategic objective. But their role, as we mentioned, to deliver. And this is one of the standard. Yes, it is a standard in IT, but the concept is there that we have here direct, and we have here direct by having, as we mentioned, plans and policies, and we run at the operation level projects to be handed over to operation, and we need to have to report the performance and to comply with the conformance. And this is some sort of reporting to be raised to the higher level. So we have here a basic component called monitoring here, and the corporate level has to make evaluation for whatever information received in order to have a new direction in the second cycle. Second cycle, I mean the next quarter. Okay. And as appeared here, that this is the strategy level, and we have something here in between. It is at the CEO level, this is the tactical level, and we have here the operation level. And the second layer here, governance of projects. And the governance here, yes, this is the link between the strategy and link as well to value and results. And from the message here in this slide, that's saying that why we have a governance in order to keep the value. Otherwise, that there is the leakage within the organization. That's why we should have this governance to keep the value of the organization. And so this will achieve the strategic results. So we would have a strategy in order to have at the end of the strategy period, we would have results. And the governance will keep the value. And here, once we have vision, business strategy, whatever, okay, and at that level, and once we talk about governance of projects, I mentioned that we talk about project portfolio management, and then at the lower level, this is the change part, okay, the change part represented here in project and program management. As mentioned here, this is the strategic level, and this is the tactical level, and this is the execution level. Going from top down, so you need to define the goals at that level. Portfolio management, you need to select and prioritize the projects, okay? And on the third level here, you need to define the projects and scope in order to run projects and the program. And now, in order to report for this, you need to track the resources, update the progress to report. And then you need to analyze a portfolio and make trade-offs. Make trade-offs sometimes that you need to cancel a specific project and to have a new project. So you need to make these trade-offs all the time to make the selection and make the prioritization among the projects. Either the projects are active now in the portfolio, or the project is still in queue and not authorized yet to the portfolio management. And the last one is the trade-offs align portfolio with strategy. That all the time I want to make sure that the portfolio we have achieves a specific strategic objective. And one of the model called the value management model. This is from a book called Advanced Portfolio Management. And this is we have here enterprise strategy, and we have a number of functional units. Functional units, the three departments I mentioned, those the departments are responsible for delivering the strategy and the feedback to be sent to the governance review board. And this should be part of the enterprise strategy, and we'll have this is governance review board. This is the same governance review board. It is not a new component. It is the same component, but one to get the feedback and one to get to give the direction. But they are the same board with two functions: feedback and directions. And the direction for prioritization, I mean portfolio management, to the project management office, and there is a loop relationship, let's say, between the functional units that deliver the strategy with the project management office, regardless of the services provided from the PMO. And there is a feedback from PMO either directly to governance review board or through the functional units. And in order to report, we need to have tracking to the projects, tracking to the programs we have. We need to have quality assurance and quality control, and to link this this area with the program and the project managers to provide all the time information required from the PMO, and to have governance relationships at the level of portfolio, program, and the project. As we see here that we have portfolios at the higher level and connected sometimes to sub-portfolios and sometimes directly to projects. And they may have programs, and from programs we may have sub-programs, and we may have projects. What I want to say from here, that at the higher level, there is a high-level portfolios and going to program and going to project, okay? But you will not see that there is a program, and under this program, you will not see portfolio, for example. No. So all the time, portfolio, program, and project. And not necessarily that you have program at the level, but you may have portfolio and the project directly, like in this case. And what we have here, we have the letter A and letter C. The letter A represents the governance parts. I mean, policies, oversight, control, integration, decision making, and the letter C represents some sort of measuring reports, change requests, issues, risk to make escalation. So all the time, this is the representation of the two arrows. The A arrow represents the direction. That's why coming from up to down and from bottom up, the character C represents the reporting or de-escalation from bottom to up. The third layer, we talk about the governance at the project itself, okay? And here, once we have corporate governance and we have project management at the lower level, so we need to link between them. That's why this is the role of the project governance, to have this linkage, okay? So once we have this governance gap, okay, what I mean by that? I mean that you will not find a project manager reports directly to the corporate level. You need to have something in between to move the information from the lower level to the higher level. This is what's called the governance gap. And we should have the project governance to fill this gap. And now, if we wanted to compare what we mentioned at the corporate level, that we have shareholders, board of directors, CEO, and functional managers. And we will do the same, but at the project level. What we will have, we'll have here program or portfolio management, okay, next to shareholders in this case, and we have something called project board, and then the executive man here in this case is the project manager, okay, next to the CEO, I mean. So this is the executive person here, I mean the project manager. And under the project manager, he has a number of team managers. And the last layer here about the project management methodology. And the project management methodology, in order to have a methodology, so we have, let's say, two types of methodologies. One called the project management methodology, and most of people use, let's say, a project management standard book like PM book from PMI, or they use the book, the standard book from Axis, I mean Prince 2. Okay, this is the project management methodology, and we have another type of methodology called project lifecycle methodology. And in this case, we depend on a number of, let's say, technical phases that like analysis, design, implementation, handover. These are the technical phases, and these phases have either to be in sequence or to be iterative, like in Agile method. If the product is exploratory product, so in this case you need to have it iterative or increment. And so we look at the subject here from technical point of view, and as we mentioned in the beginning, that we are familiar with these phases: starting the project, organizing and preparing, carrying out the work, ending the project. And here at the timeline, okay, we have here, this is the time, and this is the typical curve that at the beginning of the project, the cost will be less, and then increasing, and at the end of the project, the cost and the staff level will be decreasing. And in order to have these phases, so starting the project here, and the output from this phase is the project charter, okay, and here this is the organizing and the preparing, and we have here, this is the project management plan. And don't confuse that we talk here about the output, from project management methodology, but we need to name the phases here. I mean, starting the project, organizing and preparing, and so on, from technical point of view. Okay, and here carrying out the work to have at the end accepted deliverables, and ending the project to have documents archived. And here, sorry, we have inputs here. They call them business documents from needs assessment, business case, benefits management plan. And here, to process or to treat these inputs, we will run this PLC methodology by having the 4 phases: starting the project, organizing and preparing, carrying out the work, ending the project. And the output here, a number of deliverables. We mentioned now they are accepted deliverables, and we need to look at the satisfaction from the customer that we run the project for him. The first phase here, starting the project, and as we mentioned here, that we have these business documents, I mean business case and benefits management plan, and we will run this across the 4 phases, and at the end we'll have the deliverable and the project records. Here we have, this is the project boundaries. And here in the starting the project, and as we see here, that we have 3 levels. We have the directing level, and we have the managing level and the delivering level. So and here we have, this is either the corporate program management or the customer at the higher level of the project. And as we mentioned, that we have the project board to give the direction, and then the executive person, I mean the project manager, he is responsible for managing the project, and under the project manager there are a number of team managers. And the the same structure here, but in more details, that this area, okay, the dark area, I mean, represents the project management team, including the project board and the project manager here and the team managers here as well. And we have three main functions: function responsible for support, function responsible for change authority, and function responsible for assurance. And when we start the project, so we move the responsibility or transfer the responsibility from the customer, the executives, the key stakeholders, the project sponsor. We transfer the project to the other side, I mean to project management and the project team, or particularly the team managers and team members. And at that level, at the directing level, so we should have a document called the project charter. And then this project charter is a relationship or a partnership between two parties. The first party is the customer who wants a specific product, and the other party, the person or the team, I mean the project management team, who is going to deliver this product. Okay, so we have a partner relationship between who wants the product and the other side who performing the project. And now this is the time to appoint the project manager. And now this is the transferring the responsibility between the directing level and managing level. And now the responsibility of the project owns now by the project manager. And the second phase here, organizing and preparing. This in organizing and preparing, definitely we will not talk about everything in this area, but let's take it quickly, and we will talk here about the WBS. And in WBS here, what we have, this is the project, our project, and let's say that we have here two deliverables. Once we mentioned that there are accepted deliverables, we mean that these are the deliverables that would be accepted at the end, and each deliverable will be decomposed to a number of work packages. And as appeared here, that the team manager or each team manager will be responsible to have or to produce a work package. And this is an example of work breakdown structure, and this is about conference project. So at that level, we have 5 deliverables, and from each deliverable, we could decompose this deliverable to a number of work packages. So this level, these are the work packages, and here we have now this is 14 work packages. And we have another term called organizational breakdown structure, and this is the normal structure within any organization. But we are going to select the departments, the sections, the people that have role in the project. This is what's called OBS. It is not the normal organizational structure, but the customized one for the departments, sections, people that are working, participating in the project. And one of the definitions of the project management is to have planning, delegating, and this is the time to delegate, and making monitor and control to keep the project on track. Then our focus here, delegate, okay? And why? What we have here, this is the work, and this is the work, I mean the WBS, work breakdown structure, and we have here, this is the OBS, organizational breakdown structure. And by having this responsibility assignment matrix, it means we answer the question, who does what? Who does what means that this department or this section will be responsible for a specific work package, or this department at the higher level will be responsible for a specific deliverable, for example. And here we will replace, in order to activate the concept of committees in project management discipline. So we replace the departments with a number of committees to manage the project. So that's why we have here a number of committees. And even if we have a contract with a number of BOQ items, so here, this is the project contract, and we have a number of BOQ. In our case here, we have 3 bill of quantities, and we have here a number of milestones. Under BOQ, we have 3 milestones. Here in this BOQ, we don't have a milestone, and here we have 2 milestones. Now, the committee part here, we have, this is the project board, yes, and we have a board at the project management level. And since we have 3 BOQ, so we will have 3 committees here. And no need to have a complete committee for the milestones. That's why we have only 2 persons at the milestone level, 1 to deliver and 1 to receive. I mean, from the performing organization and the requesting organization. So the person who, the performing organization will deliver, and the requesting organization will receive this item. And in each work group committee, that's why for this committee we have 2 persons, the deliverer, okay, and in our case this is the team manager, okay, and the receiver from the customer side, from the requesting organization side. And here, this is again, this is the WBS and this is the OBS, but now we need to have the team assignment and to have the schedule as well in the high level. So what we have here a number of work packages from this color. This is the work packages, and we need to assign this component, let's say control account, but this is the meaning of accounting purpose, okay? But let's consider it, this is under this department, we have, under this department, we have 2 work groups or 2 sections, okay? And now under this WBS, I mean deliverable, we have here 2 work packages here. And then this work group will be assigned for a specific work package. And then under this work package, we have a number of activities sequenced in a way or another, okay? And we have a team here from this work group to be assigned to carry out the activities here. So at the end, we will have a project schedule, okay? So we will have this a complete project schedule, and here, as appeared here, we have two work packages, for example, similar to the example we mentioned. The carrying out the work, this is, we are here now. And here to carry out the work, so this is this chart from Prince 2, and particularly that we will go and make controlling stage boundaries, and the important part related to carrying out is managing product delivery. So that's why we put this slide here while we talk about carrying out the work. And here the project execution, that whatever we have in the project management plan, we want to lead, to perform in order to achieve the project's objectives. And here at the end, we will have the project deliverables, and hopefully we would have a project success. And this is the time, I mean, the time of execution, that's the time to provide the available resources to be allocated. In order to do so, we need to make sure that the project manager is competent. That's why PMI has this talent triangle, that the project manager needs to have knowledge, skills, behaviors, something related to technical project management, and leadership skills, and again, knowledge, skills, and behavior, but related to leadership, and knowledge and expertise related to strategic and business management. Why he needs to have this skill? To understand that this project he runs currently contributes to achieve a specific strategic objective. So these are the attributes that the project manager should have, or the team manager as well. And during the execution, the project manager should have these tools, should have a meeting management tool to be able to manage meeting, I mean, ownership of activities. Now there's an activity and I want to make sure, I mean the team manager in big projects, the project manager in small projects. So who owns the activity currently? Okay, and in this case, currently we use the concept of Agile to help in this regard. Incident report, if, for example, that a team member delayed, okay, so he has to raise a report saying that I delayed for this reason. So once we have a system, I mean application, so we will know that this team member committed to finish this task at that time, but he couldn't. And he knows, and we know that he couldn't. That's why he has to have a report called an incident report. And there are many details, but there's no time to explain about the benefits of having this incident report. And issue management, that since we have something that already happened, and this issue or problem affects the project's objectives. So we have to manage this by having what's called the issue register, and to be monitored and managed by the project manager sometimes and the team manager sometimes. And we have something called correspondence management, and the purpose of correspondence management to have one email tool, okay, not to have email from this organization, email from Google, or email from Hotmail. No, we should have a one tool in order to have all the correspondence within one place. There are many benefits to have this, and there are many available tools in the market to do so. And reporting and decision making, we mentioned that we have this Gantt chart, and we need, and this is the baseline. Baseline, I mean, this is what is approved from the management about the project, that we are going to start, let's say, this task from this date to that date, and so on. Okay, while we do the execution, I wanted to compare whatever done with whatever we planned for, okay, in order to see the difference. And now, either to have it at that point, it means that we are ahead of schedule. We are ahead of schedule, that we have done more than we planned to do. Or in another period, we are here. We are here means that we are behind the schedule. It means that we have done activities less than we planned to do at that time. Okay, so all the time that once we need to report, so we report based on either today, I mean today, or that we agreed to have the report on Wednesday, for example. And sometimes we need to see the performance at the what's called RAG chart. With RAG chart, that you have the green area, and since our performance within this green area, so we are okay. Okay, it means okay that this is the tolerance, the allowable tolerance, and the allowable tolerance here, since there is no trend to deviate, so we are okay. So that's why it is called no action required. And if we are in this yellow area, it means that we need to investigate why we reach to this yellow area. And as you see here, either in the upper area or in the lower area, you need to investigate. So it is clear for us that in the lower area, yes, we are behind the schedule. But what's the problem if we are ahead of the schedule? We are ahead of the schedule with something extra. We need to ask ourselves why we are ahead of the schedule with that. Something that done with low quality, something not done, for example, or something estimated wrong, whatever. Okay, but if we reach to the red area, it means that we are in the we need to have an immediate action. So we could represent definitely by project management software application. We need to represent this in a project dashboard. Okay, with the sometimes they use other colors by the way, not only red, yellow, and green. And sometimes you need to collect data from different sites to have it in one place to be seen by the executive. The last phase here is ending the project. And here in Prince 2, they call it closing the project. And this is the point that the acceptance of the project's product. Definitely, we run this project in order to have a product, and we need this acceptance to be confirmed. And the project objectives have been achieved, or sometimes that the project has nothing more to contribute. And sometimes they call it in Prince 2 that premature closure, that we decide not to continue running this project because there has nothing more to contribute. And here, this is we need to satisfy the completion or exit criteria. So we have to set what are the criteria in order to exit from this project. And now this is the time to transfer the products, the services, the results to production, to operations and maintenance. And we need to collect the records. We mentioned that. And we need to audit about the success, about the failure. We need to have this audit. We need to collect lessons learned to be used for the other projects, and we need to make archiving for the project information to be used for future use. And here, this is the it is important for the project at the end to make evaluation. And here there is a model from called EFQM, and some of you heard about this European Foundation Quality Management. And here in this EFQM, they use two concepts. One is what are the enablers and what are the results. And here from this KPI management framework, and this is from a KPI Institute, they have a number of components. And as you see from here, that we have a number of enablers, starting from the KPI selection, visualization, documentation, KPI data gathering, data analysis, reporting, and you will get then the results. Okay, one of the most important results is the capability to have to take a decision. Why I'm saying that? Because we need to depend on the KPI. Okay, by having a number of KPIs at the work group committees here, and we have a KPI at the project management committee and at the steering board or the project board, we need to have a number of KPIs to measure the performance. And we need to measure the performance at the team members. So we have a number of metrics that we could use to measure the performance of team members. And by the way, the team member needs to make like trade-off, that sometimes he needs to be a good communicator. He needs to show the productivity as well, even that his estimation is wrong, and so on. And definitely, there is a tool to have to help in this regard. And at the end of the project, we need to have this in the beginning, that this project should have a benefit, what we need to measure to prove realization of the benefits. okay, because this benefit will contribute in achieving a strategic objective. And what we need to measure to prove the project is successful from project's point of view. I mean the project objectives, I mean the scope, time, cost, quality, risk, okay, and the benefit as well. And what we need the project to deliver, this is the project scope, and we need to make sure from the beginning, and we mentioned this term, I mean business case in the beginning, is this project justifiable to do or not? And it is not only in the beginning, but all the time we need to make sure that the project is still justifiable. And why are we doing the project? And this is the driver to have this project, because it achieves strategic objective. Thank you for your time. And you are welcome now to give me questions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed Al-Arabi, for your wonderful insight. And I'm sure that the content was more, but looking the time factor, you might have not covered all the topics, but you've covered, the major topics that are required to explain the project governance. I really appreciate you for, coming over and then talking more about this topic, which is especially useful for project managers. Yes, we have few questions now that are coming up. I would request, the participants, if you have any questions, if you can just, raise your hands in the chat box, I mean, in the Zoom, so that I can allow you to talk. I can enable the option for you to talk. If you have any questions that you would like to take. Yeah, if you can, yes, I have one question in the Q&A box, from, Mr. Sohail, and he's asking, like, what is the importance of a project charter document? Can you explain more about it?
Okay, the project charter document developed by the project sponsor in most of the cases, okay? Either you have this role or you need to have this role within the organization. And this project charter represents partnership between two parties, one requesting organization and the other performing organization. So definitely in any project that there is a unit, a customer, whoever who needs this project. So this is called requesting organization. On the other side, that we have a team, I mean project manager and team managers and team members, they are responsible for performing the project, so they call it performing organization. So the purpose of project charter to have this partnership between the two parties. And definitely this is what's the purpose of this project. And they describe the document describes the what's required in high level. I mean high level requirements, high level objectives, high level. So don't go in more details while we prepare a project charter, because you give a chance for people to make changes at the scope later, and to give a chance for the two parties to sign this in order to initiate a project.
Thank you. Our next question is from Mr. Anil Vasu. He is asking, like, in the governance framework, how can a proper portfolio help?
Again, the question, please.
Yeah, I would repeat the question. In the governance framework, how does a portfolio help? How does a good portfolio help? I mean, I think he's trying to ask, what is the importance of portfolio, in the project management framework?
Okay, let's recognize between two sides, or two items. One is called portfolio management, and one is called governance. Okay, so whatever you have in governance as let's say as a discipline, okay, how you could apply it in the project portfolio management discipline then, okay. And this is one element or one side of the question. The other side is related to the importance of project portfolio management. For every portfolio we have within the organization, the portfolio is responsible to achieve one objective. And let's say the objective is increase the market share, for example, okay? And definitely I have within the organization currently a number of operational activities that contribute in this market share currently, but we wanted to increase this. That's why we need to make a change. This a change by having programs, projects. You may have one project, you may have a number of projects, you may have a program, and under this program, a number of projects, and all of them, I mean programs, projects, and operations are part of this portfolio in order to achieve this objective. And sometimes what happened, that we see that this project is not effective enough, so we decide to cancel. Or sometimes we see that even this objective is not important anymore, so we need even to cancel this objective completely, okay? And all the time that we need to select what are the effective projects, okay? And that's why sometimes we need to cancel projects, and sometimes we need to have new projects to be authorized. So the portfolio is not for making the change, but for making the change is program and the project. But the portfolio is the tool to select and optimize the resources we have through operation, through projects, through programs, in order to achieve the strategic objectives.
Okay, I would like to enable the option to talk for Mr. Peter Anderson. And Peter Anderson, can you talk now? Are you? Yes, I've enabled the option. Hello. Okay, no problem. Yeah, he would like me to read out the question. So Mr. Anderson Peter has a question. While defining the metrics for a project plan, how important is the risk and issue management?
Okay, we need to recognize between risk and issue. Okay, and you may know that the risk something that might happen. Okay, and the issue something that already happened. It means that the way of managing is different between the two cases. Let's go to the question that we have a metric, okay, and let's go with the metric with something like something to be triggered, okay. I mean that in order for to have the feeling that this risk about to happen, okay, so it means that there is a tolerance and there is a trend that this risk, let's say, affects the cost, and this will exceed the tolerance, and then we have to take the appropriate action based on a trigger that's set, and then we have prepared a corrective action to be carried out at that time. So what I want to say, that we have a number of metrics to observe the risks in order to have actions or appropriate actions in place to be run once there is a trigger. And the trigger is a very important element for myself. I see it like that in the project risk management field. Okay, this is the risk management. The issue management is something that already happened, and I do believe that the escalation here is very important in this case. Okay, to what extent that I should set metrics with the issue register to recognize what are the issues that should be escalated and escalated to whom. And the part of the governance concept, that the way that you are able to make this escalation. But in order to manage the escalation, you need to set some parameters, call them metrics, in order to manage the escalation of the issues in issue register.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. One Mr. Mohammed from Doha would like to talk. I've enabled the allow to talk option. Yeah, Mr. Mohammed, can you hear us?
Yes, I hear.
Yeah, I'm referring to the other Mohammed from Doha, Qatar. He has raised his hand. Okay, we'll take two last questions before I show the way you can download your certificate. Okay, so one question is from Mr. Bari. Okay, and his question is more about, you talked about steering committee. What if a company does not have a steering committee?
Since we talk about that, generally speaking, that if I am a team manager at a lower level, okay, or even the team member, that he doesn't have the authority to do something, so he needs to have someone at the higher level, I mean team manager, to raise something in order to take a decision on behalf. So the purpose of having this steering committee or project board, okay, because we need to get a direction from the higher level for the actions that we don't have the authority to do. Okay, so me as a project manager, not all the time that have a full authority to do anything. So I need to have a board to raise something, to take a decision. And not only that, and the purpose of or the importance of the steering committee, that sometimes in projects, if this committee meets every month, let's say, it depends on the project period, definitely. But if they meet regularly, okay, so we have a number of pending items. We need the steering committee to take a decision. Okay, so it is important to have, but yes, I don't answer the question, because what if we don't have? If we don't have, what we could to replace, to have a person to handle the decisions, the issues that raised by the project manager. If we don't have to have this person, you could have a person like call him a sponsor, call him whatever, okay, the owner of the project, and he could handle this instead of having a steering committee or project board. But I prefer to have especially project board, but the steering committee is slightly different, but the steering committee could be replaced by a person.
This is it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have a question from Mr. Iqbal. How has the Agile methodology influenced project governance?
Okay. Okay. Once we have, let's say that the purpose of, or one of the purposes of the project governance is taking decision. Okay. So since the way of Agile, either you go with iteration or incrementing, so you have a short period of time from 1 week to 4 weeks, I mean, okay, and you may have a chance to take a decision in this a small period of time. Okay, I think this is one thing. The other one related to the cooperation, cooperation between the team by having this master manager. Okay, I cannot remember the name now. Okay, the master manager. That since you have this type of cooperation, it means that the responsibility for the team transferred to this group, not the responsibility for, or the accountability, to be precise, the accountability to be in one person. It would be to the group, okay, with the master man and the team. This is another thing. The third one is related to since we have what's called the burn chart, okay, as a reporting tool. So by having this burn chart that shows the performance available for everyone, and definitely we need to make sure that this is the performance. This would help much in transparency, I mean. And in transparency, the fourth item in transparency, that if we use a Kanban board, even this is not necessarily to have, yes, there are many software tools could be used in this regard, I mean in the Kanban way, but even if we use a whiteboard as a Kanban, so in this case, it will be transparent for everyone what we have done and what we have to do for next period. These are some items that could help in Agile with governance.
Okay, there is one question that has come from Abdul Jamil. I would like to just take it before I, in fact, wind up. Scrum Master, can you just, I think he wants us to talk
Scrum
about
Master, yes, yes, yes. I forget the name. Scrum Master. Yes, sorry.
Okay, Mr. Mohammed, can you also talk about the examinations that are associated, because few of them, prospects have also joined here. So can you just, briefly talk about what are the exams around this project governance if somebody wants to get a certification in this process?
Uh, Frankly speaking, there is no organization currently talks about project governance. Okay, what happened in the standard books? I mean, project management body of knowledge and the Prince 2. In project management body of knowledge, they refer to project governance, but as far as I know, at least till fifth edition, sixth edition, sorry, the latest one till this moment. There is no something practical in this regard. Okay, and in Prince 2, they have something solid in project governance. However, they don't have a certification in particularly in this regard. So the certification there in the market, but not associated with the project. They are associated with the corporate governance, but not at the project level, I mean.
Yeah, okay. Yep, thank you so much. And let me just, share my screen right now and then show people on how to download this certificate and also the access the content. I hope you're able to. Can you just stop the screen share, Mr. Mohammed, real quick?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, I hope you're able to see my screen now, people.
Yes.
Okay, so we have already circulated a link in the chat box for you to enroll into this learning management system. And once you download, once you enroll, you would get to see this dashboard. So you can just click on this course name, and when you click on this course name, okay, you would be going to this project governance course page, wherein there are three different learning paths here for you to go through. You cannot download the certificate. I mean, you cannot download the content, because the content is basically, you can just go through the content here. So there is an introduction basically first, and then there is a workshop detail that I'll talk about in some time, and then the course here. So you can just go through the presentation, what Mr. Mohammed has just gone through here in this particular webinar. So we are going to start a workshop on project governance, okay, sometime next month. Okay, so the details of which would be announced very soon, and that is going to be like a 3-week workshop that would go around for 6 hours, and weekly there'll be like 2 hours, and the course outline has been given here. So what are the different topics that will be covered in this particular workshop, and that workshop will be conducted over the weekends, and it would be basically so, I mean, it will be set for all the time zones as well. And if you are interested in joining this workshop, please let us know. We will be sending out an email after this asking for the feedback, and then you can express your interest in this workshop. And for today, whoever have joined the workshop, I mean the webinar for today, you can download your certificate from the certificate section. So when you click on this certificate section, once you go through it, you will get an option saying download certificate. So please feel free to download your certificate from here. So you would be downloading a PDF, and your PDF would be in this format. Okay, yeah, and yeah, so this is how your certificate would actually look like. You can just download it from your login. So yeah, this is it, and thank you so much for joining. I appreciate each and every one of your participation, and special thanks to Mr. Mohammed Al-Arabi, because I know the pain he has gone through in preparing the presentation and also, coordinating with me throughout, this series. And I would really like to appreciate your time, Mr. Mohammed, for coming over, and then, sharing your thoughtful views on this particular topic. And I know that there is a lot that you would like to express, and I'm sure that the workshop will definitely help people around this. Would you like to conclude, Mr. Mohammed?
Thank you, Said, for having me, and I hope that the presentation would be is beneficial for everybody.
Yep, I'm sure about that as well. Thank you, everyone. And we would continue with our webinar series, and we will come up with another topic very soon, and we will share the details with you. And then, we would like to thank you all for being part of this. This is Saeed signing off.